what have we been learning about in math this week?
Fractions.
Fractions. And where have we seen fractions used?
Fraction
Pizza.
tiles.
Oh, one at a time.
Fraction tiles.
Fraction tiles.
Brownies.
Brownies.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Fraction line.
Fraction on the number line. I think hexagon cookies, we looked at those as well.
Yeah.
All right, and we've also been looking at fractions and comparing them and comparing the size. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I want you to go ahead and read number 1, and then we'll read it together, and then you'll have some time to answer. Okay? Lily ran 2/3 of a mile. Sarah ran 1/3 of a mile. Who ran farther, or did they run the same distance? Okay, as we are finishing up, let's start to discuss here. So, Landon, what do you think?
I think it's 2/3 because it's question.
Kinley, what do you think?
2/3 because there's only 1/2 left of the
Is it 1/2 left?
Wait, 1/3.
1/3 left? Okay.
I agree with Kinley because there is 1/3 left on that one, and then there's 2/3 left on 1/3.
And so if we were to write a comparison sentence here, how would I put my symbol?
Lily ran. Wait. You would have your
Greater than sign going to 2/3.
Greater than sign going to 2/3. Okay, so if I were to ask you to read this, what would you say?
2/3 is greater than 1/3.
2/3 is greater than 1/3. Okay, let's go to the second question. And what I want you to do, I'm going to give you some time to read it, but I want, before you start to draw your representation, I want you to think about it first and think about which would be greater with reasoning. Okay, I want you to think about which would be greater before you start drawing your representations, and we're going to discuss our initial thoughts. Okay, read number 2 and then we'll read it together. Compare 5/6 and 5/8. Which fraction is greater, or are the fractions equal? What do we notice about these two fractions?
That
The numerators.
the same.
Okay, one at a time. What, say that again.
The numerators the same.
Yeah. I was going to say the same.
The numerator's the same. So what does that mean we have to do or have to think about?
The denominator.
We have to think of the denominator, okay? So tell me about the denominators. Haley?
There's a 6 and there's an 8.
Okay, there's a sixth and an eighth. So what do we know about sixths and eighths? Which piece would be greater, sixths or eighths?
6.
It's 6.
Why would it be sixths?
Because you're sharing with less people and there's going to be bigger pieces.
Okay, you're sharing with less people and they're going to be bigger pieces. Kinley?
And that there would be, wait, yeah, I agree with him.
I agree with both of them.
Okay. And so you agree that there's sixths. Sixths are bigger than eighths,
Yes.
right? So tell me about then, what do you think about 5/6 and 5/8?
That 5, 6 is great.
5/6 is greater?
I agree with him.
All right. So can you explain why you agree?
Because if you wrote down like a 5/6 and then you scribbled out like 5, there would only be one more left. But if you wrote down a 5/8, there would be 3 more left.
Anybody else to explain 5/6 and 5/8?
There would be smaller pieces on 5/8 than 5/6 because you have less people sharing.
Less people sharing. Okay. So go ahead and write your symbol comparing these two fractions. So how would we write this symbol?
You would put the greater sign to the 5/6.
Greater than sign. And Haley, how would you read that?
I would read it that 5/6 is greater than 5/8.
Read that for me.
5/6 is greater than 5/8.
5/6 is greater than 5/8.
Very good. All right. Did this help understand a little bit more about how we need to think about comparing fractions?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Any questions? Any struggles?
Yes.
Okay, what would be your struggle?
Well, my struggle was I used to think that only one, like this was the last thing left over and everything like that. So I don't know if I did, but maybe I really like do the wrong way.
So you're looking at, sometimes you're looking at the shaded and then the not shaded?
Yeah.
So what do you think about, how could Kinley work on that?
She could.
What'd you say?
No, you're fine. Kinley is struggling with making sure she's looking at the shaded and not shaded. What can she do to make sure that she's answering the question?
What I do is just when I color in the box, I keep counting up.
Whenever I color in the box, I have the number in my head, and then I keep it in there until I get done coloring them in.
So could that help?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all, and I'll look forward to having more conversations about fractions with you in our next math class.
Okay.